you know, Challenger player is so much better than a Diamond 4 player, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then put him in the game then. Because you may be, oh, Neace bad, haha. How would you ever expect to get past this point then?
Neace, you think that TF Played could not climb in your elo? You think that Challenger, like LPL players, cannot climb in Platinum Korea? Neace, you're proving it's not RNG. Neace, you're proving this game is not RNG and that you matter. Because you're mattering at the negative for your teammates. Okay, so I just got up to realize some big news. I was watching Neace last night and I was thinking, he's going to demote to Platinum. I ended up stop watching his stream after this game right here. And he lost a couple more and demoted to Platinum. And I knew this was going to happen. He is gaining 11 OP in Platinum. Neace is gaining 11 OP in Platinum, guys. This is just embarrassing. When you're gaining 11 OP and losing 19 in Platinum, it shows that you have horrible MMR. He is a 41% win rate right now. This is astounding. I'm going to go over why I know that Neace is dropping, and it's because of his attitude. I mean, obviously, it's because of his champions, but I think his champions he's playing are connected to his attitude. And he's not willing to accept when he's at fault or get better, which is what being a coach is all about. Like, you can say, oh, being a coach is not being about being a good player. And that is true. Being a coach is not just about being a good player. But being a coach is about knowing a good attitude and knowing what champions will work for you, etc., etc. And that's literally Neace's weakest point as it stands. He is like spamming champions he's never played before and getting stomped on. And he's playing roles he sucks at. And, I mean, he's playing champions that are clearly too mechanical for his frail hands now. And yeah, I'm going to go over this thing I saw on a Facebook VOD real quickly with him coping and saying some stuff that really like made me kind of pissed off when I was watching it at the time. But first I gotta go over some memes. Like this is a really good take I think by Azuke here. Neace, who cares if I demote to Plat? It's preseason. Why does it matter? My real climb starts when the season starts. Meanwhile, during the season. This is by far worse than him in preseason. He has played 175 games with a 41.1% win rate. That's disgusting. He's been abusing some really OP champions. And the only champions he can win are ones that he gets carried on. This is just disgusting. Okay, and as it stands, Neace feels that if he could get into Masters tier, he could hit Challenger. He thinks that he's in an elo hell right now of bad players. Obviously, elo hell doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You're playing against worse players than you would be otherwise. Sure, your team is worse. But what really matters is that you're going to be able to capitalize on your opponent's mistakes. And this should allow you to really just carry the game if you're a Challenger level player. And like below Platinum almost is what Neace is getting to now. But Neace doesn't think that. I'm going to go share some of his thoughts and why I think that he's wrong and he's coping. And this is from his stream last night.
My whole thing is like after trying to climb with an account, I feel like I need some sort of gimmick to accelerate into Master tier, at which point, like, I'm pretty much set. Right?
No. Neace, once you get into Master tier, you're not going to be pretty much set. Neace, you've almost got to Master tier before in Korea. But you just entered down to Platinum multiple times. Neace, if you can't win in Platinum, what makes you think you can win in Masters Korea? The thing is, like, Platinum Korea is really good. It's better than Platinum like, NA by a little bit. But Masters Korea is, like, 30 times better than, like, Masters NA, right? It actually gets harder and harder as you climb up. And if Neace were to get into Masters, he'd be inting every single game he played. It would be literally disgusting. He would be getting like a banned probably for inting after a few games.
Right? Well, like, now that I, like, climbed and, like, fucked around in the preseason, it kind of makes things wonky. I feel like if I took a new account, figure out a strat, right?
Okay, because you played in the new season, it makes things wonky. Well, what happened is in the preseason, you inted, okay? You inted and you screwed up your MMR, and you were claiming that it's just preseason and it doesn't matter. Everyone knows that's a lie. I mean, you can't say that anymore, but the same thing's happening to you now in regular season, so that was a lie. And it's not that you were in preseason that fucked you up. It was that you lost in preseason. You were just inting in preseason, okay? Yeah, you earned your MMR. People need to realize that preseason can matter a little bit, too. And that it can affect your actual rank next season.
Now, I took a new account, run it. It'll save me weeks, months.
Okay, now he's saying that he just needs a new account. This account's doomed, and that if he gets to Masters, he's gonna just be, yeah, I don't know, 1v9. But the thing is, Neace is trying out way too many strategies. He needs to stick to 1 to 2 champions. He does not need to try out all these champions. I mean, look how many he's tried out, and this is like probably like half of them. He's played a disgusting amount of champions. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, he's probably gonna continue to try more out. He's tried some of these out recently, like Jax, he played just yesterday, etc. Garen, I think was soon. Yeah.
You're essentially being penalized for not like hyper game selecting with dodging and.
Well, you're not being penalized for hyper dodge selecting. Like almost no one actually does that. That's in high elo. Because you do get penalized for actually dodging, and you know, yeah, sometimes it is the right idea to dodge if the game's almost unwinnable, or if you have an enter on your team, someone that's saying they're gonna troll from champ select. But if you look at most of these challenger players, they only dodge like every few games if something really bad goes on. And I'm not saying that dodging is necessarily good for the game, but you can't say that you should just dodge 3 times every other game and like just play 1 game a week because you'll be dodge penaltied out the rest. That will not allow you to climb very fast.
Like, do you guys agree with what I'm saying? Okay, so here's the point that I'm trying to make. All right, don't you think it's a little weird that a game that has drastic overhauls and changes, okay? Don't you think it's a little weird that an account that was already high elo last season, by default, when the season starts, if I win 10 games and they win 10 games, don't you think it's a little weird that they are now like 100 games in front of me in terms of LP?
No, it's not a little weird, Neace, because they were over 100 games in front of you before. They were like probably going like 70% win rate or whatever, and they would go 70% win rate in your elo, Neace. And you were just going horrible win rate. Like, yes, it's not fair to match players up against players who are not anywhere near your skill. That's why high elo players will be matched into like higher elo lobbies when the season starts. That's just how it works, Neace. It wouldn't be fair. No one would like it. Even low elo players would complain. High elo players would complain. It would be a shit fest. And Neace just thinks he wants to luck into high elo by doing this, and he wouldn't even be able to luck into high elo. Neace just really wants to luck into high elo, and he's making some horrible points. Like, obviously, someone who proved themselves in the past will be put into a higher lobby. Like, if you think about sports or something, you think that Mike Tyson would, like, after he, like, I don't know, after, like, some boxing season ends, I guess it's not, like, boxing seasons or something like that, but do you think he would have to play against, like, amateurs, or this is a better idea, like, or this is more, I guess, relevant, like, do you think that, like, an NBA team would have to play against, like, G League teams or something after the season ends, and then the G League teams and everyone can prove themselves? No, because the NBA teams are better, okay? Like, they already proved that, and Neace, you need to realize this. Like, you're not better than high elo players. You're not just stuck in elo hell. And it makes sense that people who have already proven themselves get put a little bit higher. And it's not even like they do lose some of their MMR, and it's not like you can't climb too. Like, people climb on fresh accounts all the time. This account was fresh only a few months ago. You should be climbing these. You had a fresh account. Great for climbing, actually.
Like, not saying they're not better. No,
you're not saying they're not better, but I mean, you're kind of saying that they should be playing against bronze players. That's kind of insulting, almost. I don't know, because like it just wouldn't be fair for anyone.
Well, let's put it this way. I'm not saying that that they may or may not be better.
May or may not. Oh.
Don't you think it's a little bullshit? Like, even if you hate me, like, even if you think I suck, whatever. Like, don't you think that's just a little fucked up? Like, game integrity wise. Like, competitive integrity wise.
The competitive integrity would suck because it would be Smurfs versus like low elo shitters.
It'd be
worse than norms if it happened.
Like, okay, why wouldn't everybody have to climb through the same bullshit?
They have at some point. They have and most people climb on fresh accounts too.
I'm not saying they should start further behind. That's not what I'm saying.
I'm saying
everybody should start somewhere equal, right?
They did at one point when they created the account, but they have proved themselves since then, Neace, okay? Everyone did start at an equal point.
That's all I'm saying. Because it's just simply not fair. It's not fair. I could have stopped.
It is fair. They all start from the same point at some point. Yeah.
I could have stopped with my account in Diamond 2 the first.
Yeah, but Neace, but the thing is, Neace, you could have stopped, right? But if the season were to reset, then you'd be losing because you lost when your account was D2 and you were playing against other D2 and higher elo players. Now you dropped against them. You lost against them. You can't say that, oh, I lost against them in the past, I'd win against them now. Like, that's just not true. You proved it's not true, Neace. You have made it up to like high diamond a couple times and you have always dropped. it's not like it would be any different than the regular season than it would be in the preseason, Neace. Like, what's going on? Like, what is your logic here?
First time, not even played in preseason.
Yeah, but if you played in preseason and won, you would have had Masters MMR. If you played in preseason and lose, you'd be Platinum MMR. And you played in preseason and lost mostly. And it's just how it is. Like, you got punished for losing, not for playing.
Even, like, and I would have been in a better position to climb. Stop and, like, think about that.
Of course you would have been in a better position to climb. If you lose, you get in a worse position to climb, okay? You proved that you're a worse player than, and your MMR goes down accordingly. That makes sense.
For a second. You're being penalized for playing.
Penalized for losing. Big difference. Big difference. You actually get rewarded for winning and penalized for losing, believe it or not.
That's really what it is.
No,
I think that's a little
No,
dumb.
it's not what it is, Neace.
You're being punished for playing.
Punished for losing, yes. Punished for losing.
You're also being punished if you don't, like I said, if you don't, like, hyper select dodge, like...
I mean, a little bit, because your MMR doesn't go down when you dodge, but there's massive dodge time right now, and I think that dodging is something more now that people only will do, like, once every session or once every few games, so... Even, like, the best players, high elo, like TF Blade, who Neace has been talking about a lot in this VOD, they don't dodge that much. Like, they dodge sometimes, yeah, but they don't dodge every other game, because you just get locked out very quickly.
Like, again, even if you just think I suck, like, how does that make any sense? Like, you say, oh...
They've already proved themselves, of course it makes sense, and they do go down a little bit, and they do then have to play against other players that have already proved themselves. And many players hit Challenger from fresh accounts. Every season that happens. Even players like Tyler 1, who are not, like, known to be, like, the #1 rank 1 player, NA. They can hit Challenger from fresh accounts and he has multiple seasons, multiple roles, pretty recently. Like, it's possible, Neace. And, I mean, people have hit it in Korea, too. Like, remember when the people all doing their Korea climb last year? Even, like, Boss hit Challenger Korea. And you could do it too, Neace.
Well, you know, Challenger players so much better than a Diamond 4 player, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then put him in the game, then.
Okay, that would just be horrible for game integrity. Neace is saying that it's better for game integrity. They would just 1v9, and that's a fact. Because they have climbed from it. They have climbed on fresh account in Neace. And they go like 80% win rate in Diamond. It's not hard for a Challenger player to beat your elo, Neace.
What's the harm?
The harm is that it would not be fun for Diamond players. Yeah. Like, there is a lot of harm, not very much reward. All of these players have climbed through this elo at some point.
They're so much better. What's the harm?
The harm is that it would be harmful for the lower elo players. And the higher elo players wouldn't want to have to grind through low elo so much.
For anybody that wants to, like, climb up in this ladder, I hope you take note of this, right? Because you may be, oh, Neace bad, haha. How would you ever expect to get past this point then?
Neace, you think that TF Blade could not climb in your elo? You think that Challenger, like, LPL players cannot climb in Platinum Korea? You are so delusional.
Because the ladder is literally, like, rigged against you from the jump.
It's rigged
How is
against
that fair?
you. Oh my god.
Hey, let me give you a metaphor.
Neace, your coping is horrible.
You are now entering you're entering a marathon, okay? Last year's winner ran a 4 hour.
No, he did not run a 4 hour.
Marathon
He ran a 2 hour.
Whatever the fuck they are, right? Last year's winner, we'll just say, I'll find it. Hold on. Marathon 2022 winner.
Botany third, but I guess not.
This dude right here, his name is Iliad Kipchoge, whatever the fuck his name is, right? 2 hours and 1 minute marathon. Okay?
Yep, so this guy races against only elite marathon runners, like high elo players would. And he doesn't start ahead of them, but let's see what Neace says about this. It wouldn't make sense for him to race against, like, your average, like, high school runner or, like, middle school runner or someone that's just, like, takes it casually, right? He's gonna only race in, like, competitive events against fast people.
2 hours, 1 minute marathon. So you're like, oh, I want to be a professional marathoner, right? I want to be a professional marathoner. Okay, great.
All right.
2023, you start training. You get ready to start at the start point with everybody else, and they're like, yo, where's Iliad at? I can't see him. And then the race organizer's like, well, he won the last marathon, so...
No, what would actually happen is he won the last marathon, so then he'd qualify for other high, like, level marathons to play against high-level players. That's how it works. And so you would have to, if you were a Spiral Marathon runner, you wouldn't be competing against Eliud Kipchoge unless it was like some massive race which was like open to everyone. But it's completely different. They all start from the same place, just like all Challenger players start from the same place. Challenger players do not need to prove themselves against Diamond players because they already have at some point. They have to prove themselves against Challenger players, and that's just what Eliud Kipchoge does. He starts at the same place as other high, like, I guess, rated marathon runners, just like all high elo players start at the same place against other high-rated League of Legends players. It's not like they're starting ahead of anyone that is, like, in their level. And also, something you have to consider is climbing is not a race, Neace. It is something that is steady. You don't have to be it's not about being the first one there like a marathon. This is a bad comparison. Like, you could hit Challenger later on in the season just by going, like, 55% win rate, even if you're, like, doing that only in Platinum. Like, it is possible if you grind out enough to hit Challenger. They have a very, like, moderate win rate, even in low elo. But most Challenger players would be, like, carrying in low elo.
He gets to start a mile in front of everybody else. And you're just like, yo, what?
But oh my god, this point is obviously stupid, right? It's not like TF Blade, who Neace has been talking about a lot in this VOD, is starting above other Challenger players. He's just competing against other Challenger players. And he has proved himself against Diamond players in the past.
How am I ever supposed to beat him then?
Okay, well the thing is, ranked in League of Legends is not a race. And many times, rank 1 players are playing on fresh accounts. It's very possible to play on a fresh account and hit rank 1.
Hello? So he just gets a insurmountable advantage? Hello?
Yeah, he gets an insurmountable advantage against players like you who are a 40% win rate in Platinum. Yes, that makes sense, okay? Would you like to be playing against a Challenger level like Smurf and going 0-20 Neace? I don't think you would be. You'd be really mad about that.
Oh, how's that fair? Everybody would lose their shit, right? For some reason in League of Legends, that's what happens, apparently. I didn't actually know this because I haven't spent a honest season.
Okay, this is another thing. Neace is admitting that he does not know anything about climbing, but he's still charging $350 for coaching. This is just embarrassing at this point.
In climbing usually had been like, oh, climb, rush up the ladder, hit an LP, and be done with it, right? Playing here from the season start, I'm seeing all this fucked up shit like this.
Oh my god, the coping.
And then you look down the race line, right? You look down the race, or you look down the starting line, and you're like, yo, where's that other marathon guy that runs this? And then some guy like raises his hand. He's like, that's my partner at the halfway point.
No one does that. Like, what? Is he saying that people are like duoing or tag teaming? I mean, like most high elo streamers don't do that.
We swap out. That's duoing.
Wait, what? I've never heard of people doing this very much. I know, like, no streamers any does it. A lot of people have hit rank 1, like, right? Like Tarzan, like General Sniper, Viper, TF Blade. I don't think any of them do that, so I don't even know what this point he's making. Maybe in, like, China or something that people do that, but I don't think so. I don't think that's a really big issue, right? I don't know. I've actually never heard about that. Like, Neace is just making pretty weird points at this point.
You're like, but yo, I just want a race where we all start at 0 and like no one.
Yeah, and they all did start at 0, but then they proved to themselves already, okay? And I mean, I'm just not gonna watch any more of this VOD. I think I've watched enough of it for my own sanity. It really is disgusting as coping. Let me know about if you think Neace will drop down to gold. I honestly think it's possible with the mental he's been having and the win rate he's been having. I mean, literally 41% win rate. You can claim, like, oh, it's just all RNG. But Neace, you're proving it's not RNG. Neace, you're proving this game is not RNG and that you matter. Because you're mattering at the negative for your teammates. You're hurting your team. You're proving that you matter, but not in a good way. And this is just embarrassing for you. I would honestly just change my name, flee to, like, South America or something. Go into hiding. This is just so embarrassing for you. But anyway, you guys, please let me know about your comments about Neace coping. Do you think he'll get any better with coping? Do you think he'll ever be able to climb? I don't know. Like, I thought Neace could maybe hit Masters if he were to really focus, but he's not focusing. He's being a coper, and it's disgusting, and it really pisses me off sometimes the way he talks. But yeah, just let me know about what you think.